Let's bring in Fred Lawrence, a distinguished lecturer at Georgetown Law and CEO of the Phi Beta Kappa Society. He's here to talk with us tonight about what we can expect during these confirmation hearings over the next couple of weeks. So this could be, Fred, the closest vote that we've seen for a confirmation since Clarence Thomas back in 1991. It was a 52 to 48 vote. You go back to Ruth Bader Ginsburg when she was confirmed. The vote was only 3 votes against her. What I'm basically getting to is what would have to happen here for this to get screwed up for Kavanaugh?
Well, it's almost impossible for it to get screwed up for Kavanaugh. The Republicans have enough votes that if they hold the line, they can get it through. What it would have taken to get the kind of votes that Ruth Bader Ginsburg got, which is I think 96, Anthony Kennedy just stepped down from the court, had 98 votes.
Right.
Would have taken more of a consensus pick. But by the president picking somebody who is a very strong conservative, this one is going to really fall right along party lines, except for, as you say, a couple of Democrats who may come over.
So give us a preview here. What can we expect to see as these hearings play out over the
Adam, what you're
week?
going to see is real live Technicolor political theater. Nobody's really asking questions to hear the answers, I'm afraid to say. They're asking questions to hear themselves ask the questions. Republicans will be teeing up this candidate to show that he's very bright, and he is very bright. Democrats will be trying to pin him down on certain issues, trying to get him to say certain things about certain particular issues before the court. And what Judge Kavanaugh will very carefully say is that my job as a judge is to interpret the law as it's written, not to make the law. Chief Justice Roberts very famously said that my job is like an umpire. I call balls and strikes. So you'll hear a lot of that from Kavanaugh. You're also going to see, just to get way ahead of the story, you're going to see some 2020 presidential politics going on, because a lot of the Democrats on the Judiciary Committee are talked about as potential presidential candidates. So they're going to get a lot of prime time out of these hearings.
Right.
But that's got nothing to do with confirming a justice, does it?
No, no. What are some things that we might expect to see change with Kavanaugh on the court?
Yeah, I think there are a number of issues that could change, and the ones that you'll see right from the beginning, I suspect, are affirmative action and race-based, race-conscious remedies to various kinds of civil rights violations. You'll see this in the abortion area.
Everyone is saying he's going to overturn Roe versus Wade.
I think that's the wrong question. I don't think he's going to overturn Roe against Wade, and that's not really the issue. The issue is how much will abortion rights be limited.
Okay.
You know, the big move from Roe was a case called Casey. Casey's 1992, and that's a very famous opinion with Justices Souter, Kennedy, and O'Connor, 3 centrists who came together with an opinion that essentially said, you know, had we been on the court in 1973, we might have voted the other way on Roe. But we weren't. It's done. And they set a new standard, and it was a standard that states can't have an undue burden on abortion. So that gives you a gate to drive a pretty big truck through if you want to.
So we're not likely to see a federal mandate, more of a let the states would have a little more leeway to do what they wanted to.
I think what you're likely to see with this court, with Justice Kavanaugh, will be 5-4 decisions that will be far more deferential to states putting more and more restrictions on abortion rights.
One last question for you, Fred, and this issue of documents, where Democrats appear to be obsessed with this and focused on this. What is the story with these documents that they say they're not getting, these documents that President Trump is claiming executive privilege for?
The president is claiming executive privilege on about 100,000 documents that relate to Judge Kavanaugh's service in the Bush administration, George W. Bush administration, first in the Office of Counsel, but then also as secretary to the president.
So the Democrats want to see everything.
Democrats
they say,
want to see
you're
everything.
not showing us everything, you're trying to hide something here. That's their insinuation.
That's right. And ordinarily the president gets to have a great deal of discretion about saying that these documents have to be private. I'm entitled as president to have that kind of private communication. I think what makes this one a little bit different is that one of the big issues with soon-to-be Justice Kavanaugh, I suspect, is going to be his attitude towards executive powers. And so this would be a real insight into this. Don't forget, this is the same man who worked for Ken Starr, and at that time was part of trying to impeach a president. And then some years later, he came all the way 180 degrees over. He said that 9/11 played a big role in his life, and he had newfound respect for executive power.
This is going to be a critical role that he would play on the court, considering the Mueller investigation and what turn that goes towards. It'll be very important to see the answers.
I think this is the biggest appointment that we've seen in my lifetime in terms of one appointment that can shift the balance of the court.
The political theater starts tomorrow. Get your tickets right now. Fred Lawrence, as always, great to see you, bud. Thanks for coming in.
Good to be with you.